Hello, welcome to Sarah's Rhythm. Today we are going to discuss Beyonce's seventh studio album, Renaissance. This is one of the best albums of 2022 and my personal favorite. And of course, Beyonce is one of my favorite artists. So, you know, I am definitely excited to discuss this one. But let's get into it. This album is right on trend with what's going on right now in the music industry. We are having a shift where we are seeing a lot of nostalgic projects 80s, 70s, 90s, Y2K, that would be 2000s. Of course, this is definitely something that I like. We have some other popular albums of this trend that have done really well. Of course, Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia, which is really similar to this one. She did an 80s throwback. It was an 80s throwback. It was a dance album, and it was so good. It's one of my favorite of all time. Dua Lipa is one of my favorite artists, and I just love her so much. But we are going to get into the track list. I'm That Girl is the first track on Renaissance. It is not my favorite Beyonce opener because it starts off a little bit slow. It starts off slow and it's kind of boring. I'm that girl. I just feel that she could have used something more exciting, but I like the message where she's saying that she's still Queen Bee. She's still on top and she hasn't gone anywhere. And that's the perfect message for this moment. Next is Cozy. So Beyonce is discussing being comfortable in her skin and confident. And I agree with that. I'm definitely comfortable in my skin, but I'm cozy. I'm content with myself. I feel good about myself. And of course you see that in Beyonce. I don't think anything that you say can make her feel bad about who she is. She's proud of who she is. And it's about being proud of yourself, being content with who you are. And if you're proud of yourself, of course, I have to give it to you. I just wanted to come back here to give some additional thoughts on Cozy. That bass line is so epic. Doom, 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 doom. And you can just see the bass player jamming and going boom, 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 ba-da-doom, doom, 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 doom. I love that. And for someone who is a music fanatic and has also played an instrument, of course, the instrumentation, the production, and all of that, that's important to me. I just love the live instruments. And I'm sure when she takes the Renaissance tour, when she does the Renaissance tour, she is going to tear this up. The band is going to tear that up. Now, Alien Superstar. This is one of my favorite tracks. And for the message alone, of course, the production is so on top. The superstars that are on top, they move different. They have a different way of thinking. They have a different way of performing. There are others. I'm sure you have a list of others. But in the comments below, give your list of who's an alien superstar. Like the speech that she had at the end. We walk a certain way, we talk a certain way. That's what an alien superstar is. They're out of this world. They're not like everyone else. And they're not supposed to be. If you had a special talent, you would be different as well, don't you think? Alien Superstar is about being the best in your field. Just think of the hardest workers in any field, music or sports or corporate or anything, any field. The alien superstars are the ones that are putting the work in that the others are not willing to do. They are working hard. Make sure that they are the best at what they do. That's an Alien Superstar. And the production for Alien Superstar is pop perfection. There's so many different sounds that she was playing around with on this record. It reminds you of putting it all in a mix machine and just popping out, putting everything that she wants in a machine and it just pops out. That's Alien Superstar. It is what it is. Now, Cuff It. Cuff It is the schooling life of the album. It has a throwback kind of 70s disco Studio 54 vibe. Fun schooling life where she had the guitars and she had the dance. It is that type of song that gets everyone on the dance floor. Like, I don't know how old you are, but I remember the skating rink days. And whenever your favorite song came on, or a song as grand as this came on, everybody got on the floor. This is that song. On Cuff It, the production is very Michael Jackson off the wall esque. Virgo's groove would fit in with that. They both have the sound similar to Don't Stop Till You Get It, Get on the Floor, and Burn This Disco Out. It has the big horn sections, and horn sections are very important in disco music because they're big and exciting and they're electrifying. And it sort of grabs your attention. You want to get up and dance. With Cuff It, I see where she was trying to go with the Michael Jackson vibe. Of course, Beyoncé really admires Michael Jackson, and she has looked up to Michael Jackson for a lot of his performance style. And of course, paying homage to Michael is something that I know Beyoncé would do. I don't know about what you guys feel about Energy, but I feel that it probably could have been left off. It just sounds like a Black is King reject. If you remember, Black is King was an album that was created in support of The Lion King when Beyoncé played Nala in the 2019 remake of Disney's The Lion King. And this sounds a lot like that album. It has the Afro beats and the African style to it. It really doesn't fit in with the project, but I do like it. I like the transitions on it. Beat sort of changes in the middle. It was a cute addition. I'll give her credit for it, but this could have been on a different project. But moving on. Break My Soul. Now, this was such a meaningful song. She just says that despite all the challenges that we faced during this time, none of it is going to break me. I love that message. Because sometimes we could be in situations, maybe a job or bad relationships or bad situations that are really getting to us. And it's important not to let it break you. Just remember that you can change your situation. Anything that you don't like, you can get out of it. But you can't let it break you. You are responsible for your happiness. No one else, not a job, not a situation, not anything. And Big Frida's contribution on it was really cute. But I'm looking forward to seeing the visual to this because I want to see some good choreography. You know, the voguing and all of that. I love that. It's so much of Beyonce's lane. I forgot to mention that Break My Soul samples Robin S.'s Show Me Love. It was a very popular house record from the 90s. Break My Soul is actually a 90s house type of record. And it sounds like a lot of the house records from the 90s. I feel that the sample is sometimes overused. They use this sample a lot in music, but Beyonce brought something new to it. She sort of mixed the house with bounce and trap beats, and of course she incorporated some of the 90s house style with the piano part, the dun 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 dun. You hear that a lot in house music. They usually have it on a loop in house music. And you see how smart Beyonce is. She is so smart with this because she really did her research. She made sure that she incorporated everything from that culture and then mixed it in with the current so it can sound current. Church Girl sampled the Clark Sisters song, Center of Thy Will, that was written by Twinkie Clark. You know I like the Clark Sisters. I'm from Michigan, and the Clark Sisters are a big deal here. Of course, I saw them in concert when I was a child, but they are everything to the Detroit area. In the gospel community, they are the queens of gospel. And Beyonce did her thing when she decided to sample them for this record. And this record says that, yeah, you can go to church on Sunday, but you can still drop it like it's hot on Saturday. But the sample, the production on it was really nice. I think the sample worked really well with it. And how she mixed the trap with the gospel, it was very creative. I don't understand why the pastors were so angry about it because I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. There have been many artists that have mixed gospel with hip hop or R&B or urban music or secular music. Why, when Beyonce does it, is a problem? Just think about that. Plastic Off the Sofa it has a Soul Train vibe to it. It's the type of song that they would put on sort of in the middle of the show. Like when they were doing the scramble board and then they had the dancers dancing in the background. This would be perfect for that. It's that slow, sultry vibe. You know, dancing with your husband, dancing with your wife or whoever. And plus, we all know about having plastic on the sofa. Because growing up, my grandmother had plastic on the sofa. I think but that was just a way that they kept the sofas clean. But it's very old school. There's not a lot of people that do that now. But Beyonce's vocals on this record are some of her greatest vocals of her career. And of course, Beyonce is a fantastic vocalist. So anyone who would lie and say that she's not a good vocalist, you have not heard her at all. I don't even think that you can even be considered even a casual listener of Beyonce if you would say that she can't sing. You're a hater. If you saw the movie Saturday Night Fever from 1977, you would love this next record. The next song is the most underrated song on the album, the best song on the album, Virgo's Groove. It's a 1970s disco record. It's Saturday Night Fever. It's Studio 54. It's it's Donna Summer, Diana Ross. It's grand. The production is so grand with the funky guitars and all the disco elements. This is something that's right out of the late 70s. This would be fantastic in the live show. Whenever Beyonce is going to announce the Renaissance tour, you know I'll be there. But this this is going to be even more epic live, and that movement in the middle where the music changes, the vibe changes, is that is the best movement on the album. But you need to go back and listen to it because there was something that you missed if Virgo's Groove is not the best song for you on this record. But I think that there are hidden samples on Virgo's Groove, The Whispers and The Beat Goes On, and then Evelyn Champagne King's Love Come Down. I think either one of these could have been sampled. Let's not forget that Beyonce gives some of her best vocals on this record. Those runs that she does at the end, those those are fantastic. I know that there was a challenge. Of course, there was a challenge online for the plastic off the sofa, but you guys should do a Virgo's Groove challenge because those vocals are everything. Virgo's Groove reminds me of that part on the movie Saturday Night Fever when they were dancing to the Bee Gees song Night Fever. When it came on, they all got on the floor and then they all did their disco moves, and then they had the smoke machine and everybody was partying and having fun. That's what it reminds me of. It sort of gives that vibe to me. And I did want to mention that. I think it sounds a lot like Off the Wall or Rock With You by Michael Jackson. It sounds a lot like that. It sounds so classy. Now Move, that also sounds like a Black is King reject, but I like what she did with it, with the keyboards coming in, and then Grace Jones. I haven't heard from Grace Jones in a long time, but she was a pretty good addition to it. And I like that she was grateful for the contribution that she made to the project. I'm not going to name that other person that that was sort of ungrateful, but at least she was, her and the Clark sisters. And don't even get me started on Right Said Fred. Heated is that typical Beyonce jam. You know, the island vibe, and when she's shaking and boom, 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 boom. And I heard that it was written and produced by Drake. It was either written or produced by Drake. But Drake has his stamp on it because it does sound like a Drake song that Beyonce is just singing. But Beyonce sounds good on it. Actually, this is one of the best songs on the album, but I love the lyrics. At the end, she discusses how one day you like her and the next day that you don't. And there are some people that say that she's overrated. And then when she does something really good, then you try to say that she's not overrated. She's right where she should be. So either she's overrated or she's not. But I like the nod that she does to Uncle Johnny at the end. Her Uncle Johnny was her gay uncle that she used to be close with in childhood. And he liked a lot of the music that inspired Renaissance. He also made her prom dress when she went to prom. And it's funny how people said that they didn't like Drake's Honestly Nevermind, but you liked Heated. So how do you hate on Honestly Nevermind, but you but you like Heated? I guess it was executed better, but Drake was doing the same thing with Honestly Nevermind. Not that it's his best project and not that it was a really good project, but Drake was making a dance album there too. And he knew that she was going to do what she was doing, and that's why he hurried up and released Honestly Nevermind, because he knew about Renaissance. He produced a song on it. Now, I wonder if Beyonce sampled Billie Eilish bad Billie Eilish's song Bad Guy for Thick, because the sample sounds so similar to it. For the song, she sampled the Aldridge PB5 pedestrian crossing walk signal, but Beyonce, I wonder if you sampled that same thing. You might not have sampled Billie Eilish, but you might have sampled that. But it's still a cute song. How she's embracing her thicker figure now. Of course, she's thicker after having the twins. This is a song that you can do that little new dance that they've been doing on TikTok, that little stiff hip. This is a song you can do that too. It sort of reminds me of a movie score. You know, the movie scores from back in the day, the James Bond and Scarface movies, you know, the crime movies, on those big missions. That's what Thick reminds me of a little bit, with that trumpet part. It was sort of giving me that vibe. And I sort of took that from that. I don't know if you have, but it sort of reminds me of it. Made for the runway. Like walking down the catwalk. I would envision Naomi Campbell walking down the catwalk to this song. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. Beyonce, you need to get with Naomi Campbell on this and see if you can make this happen. I don't understand why people don't like All Up in Your Mind. This is a Lady Gaga EDM track. You guys just don't like EDM. You don't like electronic sounds. You don't It seems like it's frowned upon. Like what is this? So where you don't like it? Do you think that it's dated? Do you think that what's the thought on it? You guys just don't have any have any taste, because the production is next level. The synthesizers, like, this is the sound of the 2020s. When you think of the 2020s sound, you think of, the dance music, the nostalgia, the keyboards, the synthesizers. This is what it is. And you'll get used to it when she performs it live and when she does the visuals. You guys will feel better about it. Because when Lady Gaga did this was all the rage. But when Beyonce does it, you guys feel a different way. Maybe you guys feel that it's too much like her album I Am Sasha Fierce, which a lot of people didn't like. And I feel it's an underrated project. Maybe that's it. There was a movie in 1984 by the name of Breakin'. It was a breakdance movie starring Shabba-Doo and Boogaloo Shrimp. They were two popular breakdancers. America has a problem. Reminds me of the part in the movie where Shabba-Doo and Boogaloo Shrimp, they were in a group called TKO. And of course, there was a lady named Kelly. She was also in the group who they recruited later. She was a jazz dancer. And they went to challenge the electro rock group at a dance club. And the break dancing that they did on that part, it reminds me of the music that the DJ was playing at that club, and sort of like the moves that they were doing. But it's a break dance song. It's an 80s. It seems like Beyonce switches up between the 70s and 80s eras for this album, but the production is really good. Like Beyonce really did her homework with this album. She used a lot of samples. I don't remember all of them, but but you guys can look back. Really took a lot of samples from music that was popular at the time, and a lot of the artists are artists that don't always get a lot of credit. Some were, of course, like the Clark sisters, but there were some, underground artists that she sampled. But America Has a Problem is that early 80s DJ set music. The man who used to walk around with the big boom boxes, and they would put them down, they would set up the cardboard on the ground, and then they would spin around and do the breakdance moves. This That's the visual that comes in my mind listening to America Has a Problem. But it's one of my favorites on the album. I just love that throwback early 80s vibe, because that movie Break In, that one was such a great movie. I used to love that movie growing up. I used to try to do the breakdance moves in that movie. So this album pays tribute a lot to ballroom culture, which is a dance culture within the LGBT community. And they did a lot of the voguing moves. And Pure Honey, this is a Vogue song. And then it goes straight into Honey, which sort of goes from the 80s back to the 70s. It reminds me of like a drag queen, or like a diva like Diana Ross, or Donna Summer being in the middle, and then all the dancers all around her. That's what Honey reminds me of. And both Honey and Summer Renaissance, I should talk about them together because they flow together. And I think they were meant to flow together and to sort of be one, even though they're two songs, actually three songs, because Pure Honey is a movement. There's a movement in between the both of them. And Summer Renaissance actually samples Donna Summer. So this is definitely the vibe that she was going for, where the music just keeps playing and you just keep dancing. You keep dancing and you don't stop. You're having a good time and you're partying. You're not worried about anything. You're just worried about the music. And you're into it. You're deep into it. Pure Honey gives me night out in New York City, or the big drag shows, like the big ballroom culture shows where they have the big costumes with all the jewels on it, and they look like kings and queens on the dance floor, and they're just doing all their big dance moves, and that's what it reminds me of. Those big, and even like RuPaul's Drag Race LGBT shows, where the drag queens, the outfits, they have all the big makeup, the beat face of makeup, and they're confident, and they're showing everybody, who they are and what they got. Pure Honey, that's that song. And I'm looking forward to the tour. And I'm looking forward to what she does with with some of the ballroom culture girls, because I'm sure that she's going to incorporate some of the ballroom culture dancers in it. It would be wrong if she didn't. You watch one on YouTube or whatever, they can really dance. But that is Renaissance. So I am going to give some final thoughts. But let's talk about how the transitions flow really good together. It feels like a DJ set where you sort of can't tell when one song begins and one song ends. That's what I noticed when I first heard it when it came out. You would sort of be maybe on the next song, and you would know that it changed because the transitions flow together. There could be two songs that just sound like one long song. And that's how DJ sets are in the club. If you go to the clubs, they're going to make it flow together. And I think that Beyoncé did a really good job on this. Beyoncé does a good job on transitions anyway. So I'm not surprised that she did something like this. So my favorite songs on the project are Cozy, Alien Superstar, Cuff It, Break My Soul, Church Girl, Plastic Off the Sofa, Virgo's Groove, Heat It, Thick, All Up in Your Mind, America Has a Problem, and Summer Renaissance. The entire album is really good. The album is just good, and it deserves the Album of the Year Grammy. And Grammys, if you don't give Beyonce the Album of the Year for Renaissance, oh, that would just be so bad because she has never won Album of the Year. How does Beyonce, one of the greatest artists of the generation, not have Album of the Year? I think there are only 5 African Americans that have won Album of the Year, and only 3 are female: Lauryn Hill, Whitney Houston, and Natalie Cole. Why isn't Beyonce one of them? Like, can somebody explain that? And I know that you all have been asking about visuals, but it's going to be on Beyonce's timing. But I'm sure the visuals are going to be epic. I heard that she has a deal with Netflix, but of course I heard that some time back. But it might be a Netflix deal to where it's a film where she turns it into a film, the storyline put to it. I would like that. I would like to see something like that. Like what she did with the Lemonade album. If she does something like that, that's going to be groundbreaking. But Beyonce is going to do it in Beyonce fashion. Thank you so much for watching today. I am Sarah, and this is Sarah's Rhythm. I am so excited for this new channel. I'm a music fanatic, so I just love to talk about music, and I love to listen to music. It's a hobby. And I'm excited for you to be on this journey with me. Have a great day.